Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is June the 16th, 2021, and today the topic is the desires of my heart. Friends, man, so what is it? Hump day. Hump day, y'all. Wednesday. And yeah. I mean, if I reflect a little bit on yesterday, well, long story short, y'all know it was kind of an eventful day for me. Just one task to another. Woke up this morning. Woke up yesterday morning. Did the juice. Did my whole routine. Y'all know about that stuff already. Um, Went and did the summer camp situation. So um, came home after that, and not long I ended up doing like a virtual acting lesson. So I was doing that. And then soon after, I had to get ready for my interview that I had with Worldly Church Girl with Miss Lillian Harshaw. Did that, and then that's when I finally got a chance to kind of woosah. The funny thing is, my son was knocked out when I got done. So obviously he was kind of tired from his eventful day too. And so yeah, man, one thing to another, one task to another. But it's still a blessing. And today it shouldn't be so strenuous or shouldn't be so many things. The first half of my day is probably going to look a little similar to the past couple of days, but the rest of the day, I don't necessarily have anything on the roster. So perhaps, after we get back from the summer camp situation, to the Lord's will, we'll be able to kind of just chill. But even with all of that, I still just really, really thank and praise God for all of this. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I enjoyed the conversation that I had with Miss Lillian yesterday. And actually, we'll be having a conversation again. Because if you tuned in to the episode last night, you heard that she is going to be a guest on God, Sex, and Love on Friday. So when I go live on Friday, she will be the guest. And so we'll be chatting again real soon and everything like that, getting to know her and what she has going on with Worldly and everything like that. But yeah, man, it's truly, truly been a blessing. I know you guys may be tired of me saying it. I don't know. But it's like I got to share my testimony because at the end of the day, I hope that it encourages and it inspires you. You already know. You already know. But let's get into it, right? Let's get into the topic. Let's get into the juice, right? So here we go. I woke up this morning. um, I had a slight feeling of like, it's time. I'm a little tired. But I went ahead, got on up, and here I am. So I did my full routine, and yeah, I mean, throughout that, at some point, started to do the prayer meditation, which was really, really good to reflect on. It kind of had me reflecting on the Lord's Prayer and everything like that. It was like, try to, listen to it as if you never heard it before. And just, I don't know, it was really good. It really resonated this morning and everything like that. And so afterwards, I just kind of, prayed a little bit, prayed in the spirit as well as just kind of, just thank God and everything like that. Of course, waking me up this morning, leading me in my right mind. And one of the things I did pray was, thanking God for giving me the desires of my heart. And so when I did get done with the prayer portion of my routine this morning, I guess that stood out to me. That stood out to me, the desires of my heart. At the end of the day, I do believe that God has given me that, and He's also given me things beyond the desires of my heart, in my opinion, things that I didn't even know I needed, or um, maybe I didn't know I wanted, and things like that. And so, so I really just started to reflect on that. Now, yeah, I did, look up some Bible in regards to it as well, and we're going to get to that real, real soon. But I guess I kind of feel that a little bit this year, just testimony part of my journey. I mean, I share it all the time, However, since I, again, was reflecting on it this morning, it's just like at the end of the day, at some point, I had to ask myself in my process, right? Over the years, at some point, I asked myself, like, what is it that I really, really want, right? I've tried to, um, kind of help people by giving them that same advice too. Like, hey, you have to really think about what is it that you really want, because at the end, I don't know if y'all know my acting testimony. I think you know at least part of it, but one of the things is, the challenge, right? The challenge of what I thought I wanted versus like what I really wanted, and why I wanted it. Like these are questions that I asked myself. So, when it came to acting, yes, my passion and uh my desire was just to perform, right? To perform for a living. I didn't necessarily care about whether I was famous or anything like that. I didn't necessarily care about, making it to a certain level or receiving a certain award or whatever the case is. I mean, I think, again, when I thought about myself in acting, I always thought about like, okay, yeah, I would like to be known for being able to do this well, but at the end of the day, when I really, really broke it down, the more I thought about it, the more I realized, like, well, technically, I want the aspect of, when it comes to being known, I guess, which people would consider to be famous. The only reason I would even desire that part of it is so that when I have entrepreneurial endeavors and things like that, that they would get support. um, and so when I realized that, that kind of changed my perspective of why or how to go about things, right? Because, okay, for example, here I am, I'm pursuing acting, right? And trying to build my resume and all these things so I can get to another level, so I could, be able to direct and produce, so I could be able to start businesses and have other endeavors and things like that. And so at some point, um, when I kind of paid attention to the way that my life was going and the things that God was showing me by the opportunities that I had, which at some point I started to notice that a lot of the shows that I was in and a lot of the things I was doing to build my resume and things like that was things that was led by people that either wrote it themselves, directed it themselves, and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff. If you look on my resume, you'll see a lot of theater, a whole lot of theater, and then you will see like some film things, commercial things, and stuff like that. Majority of the stuff was independent things, which I guess I would consider anything that's not mainstream or stuff like that. I would consider that to be independent. So a lot of the work was independent, and then people doing what I desired to do. That's what like I started to notice that, in my journey of acting and all that, right? So, because again, that was my career goal, and so and so I guess I would use those opportunities to, I guess, learn what I could by observation, right? By observing these people in the positions that I wanted to be in. I learned from them. And then, one lady became my mentor. Was shout out to Miss D, she goes by Stage Plays here on Facebook and everything like that, with Impact Productions. I want to say outside of my own stuff, I've probably been in her stuff the most throughout my acting career, I think. So yeah, so she would be an encouragement too and everything like that. She definitely would encourage me more with the writing and everything. And So yeah, it would just be one of those things. I'm sharing this to say, y'all, at the end of the day, what I realized is that it wasn't like that I wanted the acting part per se. Like, yeah, I love to perform. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. However, my goal, right, was to become an entrepreneur. My goal was to be able to create, to produce, to direct, and all those things. So I found myself in a place where it was like, okay, well, I may not be at the place where I have a lot of people that know me and that will automatically, based on who I am, or the name that I've made for myself, right? But I could still start this business right here. You know what I'm saying? So, I was like, I could start this business, and then, hey, if I get to that place, then cool, people still, a business that I'm already doing. And so it's like, again, it changed my perspective of how to go about things. Because in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I have to become a certain level of actor to then open a business, to then become a director, to then be, this is the order. But my order was totally different. Like, my order was like, I'm this independent actor that is about to start a business, and I haven't made a name for myself, but this is my route, basically. So again, when it comes to the desires of my heart, it's like I had to be real with myself about what those desires were. And then, well, obviously I let God, lead me and guide me and everything like that, of how he wanted me to do it. And, and here we are all these years later, and I really, really, truly feel as if I am operating, I guess, in my gifts. I'm doing the things that I always thought about that I would do. And God has given me the desires of my heart when it comes to, marriage and now motherhood, and all these different things. And so now and that's the thing. It was interesting because me and Miss Lillian we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday. But I guess the thing is, it's like sometimes we can get distracted by looking at other people, right? Because that was kind of what, over the years for me, I find myself like looking at someone else, or looking at it like, man, they're doing all the things I want to do, or they're not even acknowledging you, God, but here they are doing all these things, and they have all this success and everything like that, but somebody like me is over here struggling and everything. But I think, and maybe this comes with, maturity, or, again, I feel like spending that time with God, again, would change your perspective of things. But, yeah, that can get kind of daunting, right? That can get kind of discouraging to kind of see, people kind of flourishing over you that, may not be acknowledging God. However, let's take a look, because I want to say that a lot of these verses kind of reflect that, and hopefully will give us a different perspective of those things. So here we go. The first verse that I came across this morning was Psalm 37:4. It says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." I told you all that I tested that out a few years ago, right? In my single days, when I was, single miracle, and didn't have any of the things that I currently have, and all these things were just dreams and hopes. I was like, I was presented with that question that Pastor Sammy said at church, like, hey, if you make your wants God's wants, you're going to get what you want. Or if you make God's wants your wants, then you're going to get what you want. Either way, he said it one of those ways. And like I told you all, time and time again, that stuck with me to the point where I just was like, all right, Lord, fine. What is it that you want? right? What is it that you want me to do? Um, and I'm hoping that I will get what I want by doing the things that you want. No, maybe that's I don't know, maybe that's not the best way to look at it or go into it, but that was my process. That was my process, because I just was like, all right, Lord, there are things that I want, there are things that I desire, and your word says that, you know, if I delight myself in you, for example, then you're going to give me the desires of my heart. So here I am, focusing on you, delighting myself in you. What is it that you want me to do? And I'm looking, based on your word, I am looking for you to give me the desires of my heart. And I guess that's that faith, right? That's believing in God's word and what it says. And here I am, y'all. Here I am, a living testimony that God will do it. He has done it for me. And again, y'all know that I can't sit here and be like, oh yes, GSL is has billions of listeners, and I don't know. I don't even know the number of people that listen and things like that. However, this is things that God put on my heart to do, and I believe that the more that I do, the more that He has blessed me, and you know, and that's just one part of my life. I feel like this has been an ongoing thing throughout life, especially when I started to build that relationship with Him for myself. In my adult years, I started to build that relationship with Him for myself, and started to be more intentional about using my gifts for God. So here we are, y'all. Here we are, and but anyway, let's move on. So I ended up going deeper, and I ended up reading the entire Psalm 37. So that is the Go Deeper section for today. But here's the verses that stood out to me. So verse 1 stood out. It says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity. Again, we can see all around us, all right, Lord. Okay, so for those of us that have taken a red pill, right, and have gone down the rabbit hole, you all may have heard like all the different things that is going on in the entertainment industry and stuff like that. And this is just one example. But I mean, obviously they're saying that it's going on in like politics and all this other stuff too. But let's just focus on like Hollywood and entertainment and stuff. So for someone like me, right, that as a performer, because you grow up, you see these movies, you see these people winning these awards, you see these, all these just fancy things, and you're like, wow, okay. And as an actor, you're like, yeah, we're going to go for that, or yes, I want to go for these things, or X, Y, and Z. And then you're hearing this darker side of it. The casting couch is not unfamiliar. Like people, you hear about that all the time, things like that. And then later on, you're seeing that all these things are being released about like producers or people that are in these higher up positions taking advantage of actors and women and even men and children and all of that too. And so so someone, I guess, like me is looking at it like, man, all the, if these people are doing all these evil things that you're hearing about, you know and they have all the success, they have all the things that they need to be successful, when all this, they're financially set up and all these different things. But then people like me, or people like that are independent and stuff like that, struggle, or we trying to like figure out how to even get our ideas off the ground and things like that. And we may be looking at it like Lord, they're over here doing evil, but they're like living in the lap of luxury, as people would say, and vice versa. Because then we're looking at our situation and we're like, we're over here trying to figure out how to make things manage, or whatever case is. However, again, this word right here says, fret not ourselves or thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. So there's going to be some more verses that kind of touch on like what's going to happen to the evildoers. They, but we'll get to that in a moment. So another verse that stood out to me was verse 3. It says, trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Again, it says, trust in the Lord and good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. At the end of the day, again, I think the more at least I guess I can speak for me, the more I draw near to God, the more that my mind, I guess, again, has been renewed. I'm not necessarily worried about anything. Again, God has given me the desires of my heart and everything like that. And he'll supply the needs right here. That's what I'm kind of getting in this verse. It's like, and we've heard verses before, again, that say like, hey, don't be weary in well doing and things like that. It's like, hey, you continue to do good, and you'll be able to dwell in the land and be fed. And at the end of the day, what do you need beyond that? I know we talked about the other day the whole idea of being content. Being content with what you have, and allowing God to provide for you and everything. I don't know. I guess for whatever reason we find that hard to do as humans. But I mean, it's a very freeing way to live, again, to trust in God. So there you go, friends. But check this out. Here's another thing about the evildoers. It's in verse 9. It says, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. So there you go, y'all. I mean, we don't want to be one of those ones get cut off. Like, yeah, these people may be high and mighty right now, right? They may be living in the lap of luxury. They may be, have all these wonderful things here on earth, right? But at the end of the day, if they're doing evil things, they will be cut off. We kind of see that already happening. Y'all heard about the Me Too movement and all that stuff that was going on now. Again, these agendas and movements and stuff we got to be careful about. But, what I'm saying, the part about the people that, was in these high positions and taking advantage of and everything like that, you see how they're being brought down. And I would just say, according to the word, any type of evil, hey, what you do in the dark will be brought into the light. And so with that being said, it's like, which side are you on, friend? Are you on that evil side and you're about to be exposed, on the good side, and are you getting ready to inherit the earth? I don't know what side you're on. I hope that everybody listening to the sound of my voice is on the side of good, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. Now, verse 16 stood out as well, and it says, a little that righteousness, a little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. There you go. I mean, again, it's like, it's hard not to do the comparison game. I know, especially with social media and all this stuff going on, right? It is hard to not do the comparison game. However, at the end of the day, it says here, the little that, the righteous have is better than that the wicked have. And so, again, that's another thing to just keep in mind, for us to not, as it say, fret not and everything like that. I don't know. It's just something to think about and let marinate today. Now, verse 25, it says, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. At the end of the day, I mean, I guess that's the beautiful thing, right? Even though, there are times where, we may feel down, we may feel low, we may feel like, man, Lord, we don't have any of the things that we want, or whatever the case is, but you'll always have what you need, at least according to the word. And so, and even your seed, right? Your future, your what we talked about yesterday. Let me go back a little. Let me go back in my juice journal. Our heritage, um, they will be covered as well. Um, at least that's what it says about the righteous. So again, these are all things to just reflect on today. I hope that it encourages you to lean, depend, and trust on God, because He will give you the desires of your heart. I hope that you guys take some time to not only check out the Go Deeper section in its entirety, because it is really good. All the verses just kind of flew off the page to me. However, I also hope that you guys take a time to reflect on what is it that you really want and desire. I think the more that we, when we realize what it is, then we can kind of see maybe God, maybe how He works, how He's pushing us towards those things. And yeah, and again, I hope that this encourages you and inspires you today. Now, the Bible verse of today is Romans 8:26. It says, likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Facebook and YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed the juice this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm looking forward for it to be just a kind of a little bit chilled day compared to the last couple of days that I had, because again, it was kind of like one thing after another, one thing after another. But again, it's been a blessing. I really, really enjoyed the conversation again last night with Miss Lillian. Looking forward to having another one with her on Friday when she comes on God, Sex, and Love. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that God is doing. And I'm looking forward to see what else He want to do and gonna. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on with me. But I won't be long your time. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. And hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.